Hello students, active math 4th class, addition and subtraction of large numbers SB-17. Concept time 8, framing word problems on addition and subtraction. We have already learned how to solve word problems. Now let us use some numbers and operations to write some word problems. This exercise is also known as framing word problems. Keyword: framing, creating or expressing something. Solved example 18. Frame an addition word problem for 35,677 plus 28,492. Answer: we can frame different word problems using the numbers 35,677 and 28,492 and an addition keyword. Let us look at some examples. Problem 1. There are 35,677 adults and 28,492 children in a stadium. Find the total number of people in the stadium. Problem number 2. 35,677 people went to the fair on Saturday. 28,492 people went to the fair on Sunday. How many people went to the fair in all? We can use keywords like total, in all, together, and altogether to indicate addition. Now write another word problem for 35,677 plus 28,492 in the space given below. We can write in a hospital 35,677 patients are there. In 2000 and in 2001 there are 28,492 patients are joined. Then how many patients are there in total? Like this. Solved example 19. Frame a subtraction word problem for 58,376 minus 37,345. Answer: we can frame different word problems using the numbers 58,376 and 37,345 and a subtraction keyword. Let us look at some examples. Problem number 1. There were 58,376 notebooks at a store. 37,345 of them were sold. How many notebooks were left at the store? We can use keywords like take away, remain, difference, left, and how many, more or less than, to indicate subtraction. Problem number 2. Mr. Rakesh has 58,376 in his account. Mr. Ram has 37,345 in his account. Who has more money and by how much? Now write another word problem for 58,376 minus 37,345 in the space given below. Practice question number 7. Frame word problems for the following in your notebook. Practice question number 7, 7.1. A. 23,567 plus 14,678. Solve. Aisha spent 23,567 rupees on mixer and rupees 14,678 on fridge. Total, how much she spent on these materials? B. Question number B. 56,789 plus 23,145. Solve. Suhail's account. There are rupees 56,789 and he added rupees 23,145 more to his account. Then what is the total amount in his account? Subtraction word problems. C. 28,492 minus 15,698. Solve. In a fair, around 28,492 people gathered, and after some time, around 15,698 people left the fair. Then how many people remain in the fair? D. 15,324 minus 12,678. Solve. In a bike rally, there are 15,324 participants. In that, about 12,678 participants left or give up the rally. Then, how many participants remaining in the bike rally? Addition and subtraction of large numbers. SB-18. Activity corner. Keywords. Quantities. In all, 2,123 boys, 3,209 girls. Take away total 42,564 books, 23,672 books. Total 1,45,325, 4,326, 23,500. In pairs, problem with the keyword and quantities given in each row. B. Ask your partner to solve the word problems you framed. Concept time 9. Estimation of sum and difference. Rajesh sold 411 phones last month. This month he sold 488 phones, so he sold around 900 phones in total. How did you find the answer so quickly? J could find the answer quickly by using estimation. Estimation means finding an answer close enough to the actual answer in a short time. Let us see how J found the answer. Estimated sum. Round off 411 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 400. Round off 488 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 500. Estimated sum is equal to 400 plus 500 is equal to 900. So Rajesh sold around 900 phones in total. Keywords for estimation: around, about, close to, roughly, round off or to, near, approximately. Let's discuss. Can you think of a few real life situations where estimation can be used? Discuss with your partner and note down a few situations below. Like the price of TV or saree or fridge or mixer. We tell about like approximately. Addition and subtraction of large numbers SB-19. Estimation of the sum of large numbers. Let us look at a few examples on the estimation of the sum of large numbers. Solved example 20. In January, Varun traveled 1110 km by his car, and in February he traveled 684 km. Estimate the total distance traveled by car by rounding off to the nearest hundreds. Answer: estimated sum. Round off 1110 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1100. Round off 684 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 700. Estimated sum is equal to 1100 plus 700. So Varun traveled around 1800 km in total. Actual sum. Let us check if the estimated sum is close to the actual sum. Actual sum is equal to 1110 plus 684. The actual sum is 1794. It is very close to the estimated sum. Solved example 21. A businessman received rupees 13,569 from one customer and 26,785 from another customer. Estimate the total amount he received by rounding off to the nearest 10,000s. Answer. Estimated sum round off 13,569 to the nearest 10,000s is equal to 10,000. Round off 26,785 to the nearest 10,000s is equal to 30,000. Estimated sum is equal to 10,000 plus 30,000. The businessman received around 40,000. Actual sum. Let us check if this is close to the actual sum. Actual sum is equal to 13,569 plus 26,785. The actual sum is 40 rupees 40,354. It is closer to the estimated sum. Let's work together. Estimate the sum of 43,827 and 52,392 by rounding off to the nearest tens, to the nearest hundreds, and to the nearest thousands. Discuss in your groups when is the estimated sum closest to the actual sum. Addition and subtraction of large numbers, SB-20. Estimation of difference of large numbers, solved example 22. J travelled 1287 km while Ravi travelled 1819 km during their vacations. Estimate the difference between the distance covered by J and Ravi by rounding off to the nearest hundreds. Answer. Estimated difference. Round off 1287 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1300. Round off 1819 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1800. Estimated difference is equal to 1800 minus 1300. So Ravi travelled around 500 kilometer more. Actual difference. Let us check if the estimated difference is close to the actual difference. Actual difference is equal to 1819 minus 1287. The actual difference is 532 km. It is close to the estimated difference. Solved example 23. Mohan bought furniture worth rupees 28,700 for his new house. The shopkeeper gave him a discount of 3,350. Estimate the amount Mohan paid by rounding off to the nearest thousands. Answer: estimated difference. Round off 28,700 to the nearest thousands is equal to 29,000. Round off 3,350 to the nearest thousands is equal to 3,000. Estimated difference is equal to 29,000 minus 3,000. So Mohan paid around 26,000 for the furniture. Actual difference. Let us check if the estimated difference is close to the actual difference. Actual difference is equal to 28,700 minus 3,350. The actual difference is 25,350. It is close to the estimated difference. Practice question number 8. Estimate by rounding off to the nearest hundreds. Reflection corner. I learned a few ways to add and subtract large numbers in this unit. They are rounding off to the nearest values, framing word problems, subtraction and addition of 7-digit and 8-digit numbers. Practice question number 8, 8.1. Estimate by rounding off to the nearest hundreds. A. 2084 plus 951. Solve. Round off 2084 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2100. Round off 951 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 900 or 1000. Estimated sum is equal to 2100 plus 1000 is equal to 3100. B. 5136 minus 2102. Solve. Round off 5136 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 5100. Round off 2102 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2100. Estimated difference is equal to 5100 minus 2100 is equal to 3000. Question number C. 3582 plus 2039. Solve. Round off 3582 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 3600. Round off 2039 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2000. Estimated sum is equal to 3600 plus 2000 is equal to 5600. D. 2631 minus 1267. Solve. Round off 2631 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2600. Round off 1267 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1300. Estimated difference is equal to 2600 minus 1300 is equal to 1300. 8.2 Estimate by rounding off to the nearest thousands. A. 5691 plus 2120. Solve. Round off 5691 to the nearest thousands is equal to 6000. Round off 2120 to the nearest thousands is equal to 2000. Estimated sum is equal to 6000 plus 2000 is equal to 8000. Question number B. 7436 minus 3720. Solve. Round off 7436 to the nearest thousands is equal to 7000. Round off 3720 to the nearest thousands is equal to 4000. Estimated difference is equal to 7000 minus 4000 is equal to 3000. C. 63,821 plus 11,620. Solve. Round off 63,821 to the nearest thousands is equal to 64,000. Round off 11,620 to the nearest thousands is equal to 12,000. Estimated sum is equal to 64,000 plus 12,000 is equal to 76,000. Question number D. 78,394 minus 45,107. Solve. Round off 78,394 to the nearest thousands is equal to 78,000. Round off 45,107 to the nearest thousands is equal to 45,000. Estimated difference is equal to 78,000 minus 45,000 is equal to 33,000. E. 12,320 plus 2,886. Solve. Round off 12,320 to the nearest thousands is equal to 12,000. Round off 2,886 to the nearest thousands is equal to 3,000. Estimated sum is equal to 12,000 plus 3,000 is equal to 15,000. Question number F. 85,184 minus 65,239. Solve. Round off 85,184 to the nearest thousands is equal to 85,000. Round off 65,239 to the nearest thousands is equal to 65,000. Estimated difference is equal to 85,000 minus 65,000 is equal to 19,945. 8.4. Solve the following problems. A. Ravi adds 1345 and 1785 by rounding off the numbers to the nearest hundreds. Will the estimated sum be greater than or less than the actual sum? Solve. Round off 1345 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1300. Round off 1785 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2000. Estimated sum is equal to 1300 plus 2000 is equal to 3300. Actual sum is equal to 1345 plus 1785 is equal to 3130. Estimated sum is equal to 3300. Therefore, 3300 is greater than 3130. The estimated sum is greater than the actual sum. Question number B. Summer spent rupees 2675 to purchase a new camera from a showroom. Jasmine spent rupees 1890 to purchase the same model of the camera online. Roughly how much more money did Summer spend than Jasmine? Estimate the difference by rounding off to the nearest hundreds. Solve. Summer spent to purchase a new camera is equal to rupees 2675. Jasmine spent to purchase camera on online is equal to rupees 1890. Actual difference is equal to 2675 minus 1890 is equal to 785. Therefore, Summer spent rupees 785 more than Jasmine. Round off 2675 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 2700. Round off 1890 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1900. Estimated difference is equal to 2700 minus 1900 is equal to 800. Question number C. In a stadium, 32,467 women and 24,823 men were present. Estimate the difference between the numbers of women and men by rounding off to the nearest thousands. Solve. Rounding off 32,467 to the nearest thousands is equal to 32,000. Round off 24,823 to the nearest thousands is equal to 25,000. Estimated difference is equal to 32,000 minus 25,000 is equal to 7,000. Therefore, the difference between the numbers of men and women is equal to 7,000. Question number D. This week, 1,26,454 adults and 24,367 children visited a zoo. About how many people visited the zoo in total? Estimate the sum by rounding off the numbers to the nearest 10,000s. Solve. Adults visited the zoo is equal to 1,26,454. Children visited the zoo is equal to 24,367. Round off 1,26,454 to the nearest 10,000s is equal to 1,30,000. Round off 24,367 to the nearest 10,000s is equal to 20,000. Estimated sum is equal to 1,30,000 plus 20,000 is equal to 1,50,000. Therefore, about 1,50,000 people visited the zoo. Question number E. Raju had 45,847 in his account. His father gave him rupees 17,500. Raju wants to purchase a two-wheeler for rupees 55,999. Do you think he has sufficient money? Find out by rounding off the amounts to the nearest thousands. Solve. Raju had money in his account is equal to rupees 45,847. His father gave him money is equal to rupees 17,500. Raju wants to purchase a two-wheeler is equal to rupees 55,999. Round off 45,847 to the nearest thousands is equal to 50,000. Round off 17,500 to the nearest thousands is equal to 20,000. Estimated sum is equal to 50,000 plus 20,000 is equal to 70,000. Round off 55,999 to the nearest thousands is equal to 60,000. Therefore, 70,000 is greater than 60,000. So Raju have big amount, so he has sufficient money to purchase a two-wheeler. Question number F. Ranjit travels from Chennai to Hyderabad, then he visits Bhopal. Finally, he travels to Chandigarh. Estimate the total distance traveled by him by rounding off the distances to the nearest hundreds. Solve. Chennai to Hyderabad distance is equal to 626 km. Hyderabad to Bhopal distance is equal to 827 km. Bhopal to Chandigarh distance is equal to 1030 km. Round off 626 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 600. Round off 827 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 800. Round off 1030 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 1000. Estimated sum is equal to 600 plus 800 plus 1000 is equal to 2400. Therefore, total distance he travelled is equal to 2400. Question number A. 22,876 plus 38,264. Solve. Round off 22,876 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 20,000. Round off 38,264 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 40,000. Estimated sum is equal to 20,000 plus 40,000 is equal to 60,000. Question number B. 52,060 minus 27,006. Solve. Round off 52,060 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 50,000. Round off 27,006 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 30,000. Estimated difference is equal to 50,000 minus 30,000 is equal to 20,000. Question number C. 1,53,473 plus 1,28,514. Solve. Round off 1,53,473 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 1,50,000. Round off 1,28,514 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 1,30,000. Estimated sum is equal to 1,50,000 plus 1,30,000 is equal to 2,80,000. Question number D. 62,631 minus 31,999. Solve. Round off 62,631 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 60,000. Round off 31,999 to the nearest 10,000 is equal to 30,000. Estimated difference is equal to 60,000 minus 30,000 is equal to 30,000. Question number E, 42,134 plus 25,329. Solve. Round off 42,134 to the nearest 10 thousands is equal to 40,000. Round off 25,329 to the nearest 10 thousands is equal to 25,000. Estimated sum is equal to 40,000 plus 25,000 is equal to 65,000. Question number F, 3,24,528 minus 98,256. Solve. Round off 3,24,528 to the nearest 10 thousands is equal to 3,20,000. Round off 98,256 to the nearest 10 thousands is equal to 1 lakh. Estimated difference is equal to 1 lakh minus 3 3,20,000 minus 1 lakh is equal to 2,20,000. Let's work together. Estimate the sum of 43,827 and 52,392 by rounding off to the nearest tens, to the nearest hundreds, and to the nearest thousands. Discuss in your groups when is the estimated sum closest to the actual sum. Solve. 43,827 plus 52,392 is equal to 96,219. Round off 43,827 to the nearest tens is equal to 43,830. Round off 52,392 to the nearest tens is equal to 52,390. Estimated sum is equal to 43,830 plus 52,390 is equal to 96,220. Round off 43,827 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 43,800. Round off 52,392 to the nearest hundreds is equal to 52,400. Estimated sum is equal to 43,800 plus 52,400 is equal to 96,200. Round off 43,827 to the nearest thousands is equal to 44,000. Round off 52,392 to the nearest thousands is equal to 52,000. Estimated sum is equal to 44,000 plus 52,000 is equal to 96,000. Actual sum is equal to 96,219. Actual sum is closest to the estimated sum of tens, that is 96,220.